In 1937, it has become abundantly clear that the old world order that was established after the Weltkrieg with Germany as a guaranteeing factor for peace around the world is no longer viable. Too many factions have cropped up. The Syndicalist menace is about to spread through North America, and we are just about containing it in Spain at this point. There are Syndicalist uprising in India, and the old empires like Japan and the Russians are rumbling, looking for re-establishment of their dominions, and as such, Germany increasingly stands alone, not as leader of the world, but as one among many. And Germany needs to modernize, and modernize quickly, to take on this new threat of another world war. In that regard, we are immediately shifting some divisions in the south against the Syndicalists, and we'll see if we can make a bit of a difference here. It's not so much about getting the American Union states to win the Civil War. I don't really have much of a hope there for them, but it's about inflicting sufficient damage to the Syndicalists that they don't win. So it's not so much about our favorite candidate coming out, but it's about, them not winning. So, in Spain, the Carlists have taken over and have pushed back the Syndicalists relatively easily, so I'm not sure we are still needed there. However, once our volunteer forces are going to be back, then I'll send them back out inside of the Carlists and to do what we can. We are just holding on here at this point in Bulgaria, and we're waiting for sufficient army experience to create storm divisions. You can see where that's going. And in the US, we are currently pushing towards the naval invasion near Tallahassee, and we'll try to clear that out and reduce some of the Syndicalist troops here to rubble. We still have 57 days until the next round here, and we don't really have an awful lot else that we need to do. We're ahead in terms of Ireland right now, and that's about it, honestly. We are the spy master, so we are recruiting another operative, and then we will send that one to Russia, and in the hopes of trying to slow them down a little bit. And we are organizing the cartelization of the economy. Once that is through, we could take the last of the Tarnobade focuses, but as I have noticed, we don't actually have either the Tarnobade card or the cooperation with business card available. So there isn't actually any chance of us to make use of that card. That would be improved this round, which means we can in fact probably prioritize the second Einkreisungstheorie, the second encirclement theory, in order to boost the amount of experience that we're gaining. All right, navally, everything is exercising as it should. And we're building the Elsass class, which is still going to take until 1940 to complete, as well as a couple of improved cruisers. And we are slowly, steadily making our way through the construction projects that we've got going here. And we'll get there eventually. But we have many things to do. First of all, our focus right now is the Union Expeditionary Force under Walter Model, which is rushing along the train lines towards the naval landing here to take care of that as quickly as we possibly can, and then we will shift north, and our focus is going to be the strategic destruction of enemy forces rather than the capturing of territory. I mean, we'll take that if we can, but it's all about destroying as many Syndicalist forces as possible. The Bulgarians are holding for now until we have better troops available. And as soon, I think they are actually here, they are on the march already, on the retreat here. So I think we can actually, as soon as these troops have regained a minimum of organization, we can assist with the push, and this should be sufficient. Let's go around straight. There we go. We should have a fighter wing arriving here relatively soon, and the Spanish volunteers have returned, so we will send them out again. The 4th Jagdgeschwader is currently over mid-Atlantic, so let's just make sure, let's send the Spanish volunteers over to the car lists, send volunteers. Spanish Expeditionary Force will send them back out again. We'll enable air volunteers just in case. I don't think the car lists need them, but we'll bring them there anyway. Maybe we can shorten the period and rush the destruction of the Syndicalist forces. There is a naval landing near Miami, but we'll deal with this one. My primary focus is to try and get free up the army divisions here that are dealing with these naval invasions. That is a good way, something that we can do relatively easily. But if we can free these up, then we can assist with the destruction relatively easily here, and hopefully they can reinforce the front lines. Now, in terms of where are we going to push next, that is a question of supply, I believe. So let's have a look at what the supply situation is around here. We could go for Charlotte and take the supply hub here in the north. That would improve our situation overall here somewhat. But when it comes to encirclements, we might be better off actually pushing straight along the coastline for the port here. If we can manage to use the momentum to get across the river line here, we might be able to encircle some divisions, take the port, and then try to just stretch the lines out along the coastline a bit and look for opportunities. But first things first, we do need to clear out the position here. And I think we have how many divisions all in all? We'll see in a second here that we've encircled. The Syndicalists are the strongest force from what our intelligence is telling us by now, by a fair margin. So they are definitely a danger. And especially that the rest of them are fighting each other. So there are 4, I think there were 5, maybe there's 4 left. 4 divisions, 4 enemy divisions here. And we'll be having these wiped out in a minute. So that should be a nice 20-25,000 casualties on the Syndicalist side here, once these divisions are wiped out. And they are all, yeah, this Red Guard divisions, they're all from the north. So okay, that's done. That means we're going to get ourselves a front line, and I think we will attempt to go for the push across the river here and see if we can secure the line here in the south, the supply hub, and stretch them out a little bit and take some heat off. We're still holding some forward positions here, but the supply situation isn't great, and we're about to being pushed back here. So we'll deal with that first. Try to divert a little bit in terms of try to divert a couple of divisions and see where that gets us. I think I still have one operative. So I've got one operative in Detroit, but I think I have Giscas still in Catalonia. We'll leave them there just until the Spanish situation is done. And I think we have probably an opportunity here to clean that up relatively quickly. But for now, back to the Union. Divisions, please railroad up to the front lines and get ready for additional operations. That also means that once the air wing has arrived, we will send it. This airport is quite hotly contested, but it's the closest we have to the east coast. So we'll send them on a mission to the east coast, and we can probably send some air wings over to Spain already. So let's get the first Jagdgeschwader over to Spain and get them to deal with Eastern Iberia. Although I think we already have aerial superiority. We'll send them anyway, just in case. And my divisions are almost arrived, but they do, however, have to get their organization back before we can make any kind of inroads. We have an operative available. Now, given that we want to send them to Russia and start causing some mayhem, what do we have? We have somebody with a military background who would be very good at infiltration. We've got a seducer and commando. I think that is a pretty good combination. We've got a master saboteur. That's interesting as well, especially if we're trying to deal some damage, but to the Russians. An infiltrator and an escape artist, and we have a regular escape artist from Lithuania. I think I'm going to go with Josef Schmidt here. That is a relatively good combination of everything. So I'm gonna get him, and he is going straight. I should have probably gotten the localized command centers, and I couldn't have gotten a Soviet or a Russian spy. We'll send him over to Moscow. Are we going to get another one from the spy master? No, so that wasn't quite worth it. I would have thought it'd be a little bit more. But because the faction should have a couple more members, but maybe it's more limited. There are ways we can get more, but for now we'll just deal with that. How long do we have? 47 days. So back to the Union volunteers, and we will have to wait until they have some. That is a fair amount of opposition here, actually, unfortunately. So pushing through these 3 divisions here will not be too easy. Especially that they are relatively well entrenched. That is, these are plains. There's not going to be too much. There's not going to be too much in terms of defensive territory. It'd be lovely if my friendly troops could just. Can they deal with this in the south? I think they can deal with that in the south. It would be lovely if my friendly troops could just entrench themselves, but I'm not sure they're willing to seize their fruitless assaults here. And okay, catalyzation of the economy is done, which gives us potentially a couple of options. We are 30 points ahead of the British here, so we don't need to do too much right now. Yes, we can get ourselves steel. And civilian factories. That is very, very interesting, and I think these are probably only available while the Black Monday event is going on. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to focus my political power on next. I was really kind of keen to get a chief of army, but well, we couldn't do the Salzgitter Stahlwerke. But I think what we will do, and we've got a couple of other options here. A couple of these that give us options to improve our economy. 6% consumer goods factories, that would be big as well. But I think what I'll do is these seem to be timed, or I'd assume that these are timed. I'm going to grab the second Einkreisungstheorie because we are very short on army XP. This is something we really, really need. Otherwise, preparation for we can have all the economy we want, but preparation is just not going to be there. And then we can do the last Tanobade one, and then maybe we'll throw in one or two down here and see how far we're going to be. So we're still going to get here with the economic focuses. Okay, yeah, political power is going to be in short supply, but we'll do second Einkreisungstheorie next. So second encirclement theory, and we will definitely need to wait for these divisions here to build up their organization before we can do anything else. How's Bulgaria looking? Bulgaria is holding on. It's good that we're holding the position here because that keeps getting in our way. We have a chance here to break through, and we're definitely costing them some. Sorry, that was the naval invasion. We're definitely costing them quite some troops here. But all of this is meaningless if we can't retake Bulgarian territory, and they are standing relatively close to Skopje in the south here. So if we can take them up and make a push towards Belgrade, that would be nice. Okay, Union volunteers, I think at this point are good to go. They have moved one division off here, I believe. So let's launch the attack. and see if we can encircle and surround here. And yeah, the biggest problem that we have is the lack of firepower, really. I mean, it's not bad, but the sheer lack of firepower. How's our aircraft doing? Oh, we actually have green air over the east coast. That should help. The sheer lack of firepower is just alarming. Yeah, it's very minor, the area superiority debuff that they're taking there, so doesn't make a huge amount of difference. I would really need some close air support or some other bombers. We're given the distances, probably tactical bombers at this point, to make anything happen there. Just keeping an eye on the British. They're still 30 points behind, so that's all good. And we're still 38 days away here. We just have to make sure we're not missing that one. And the Kaiserreich volunteers have arrived, so let's get them organized. And we have 4 divisions. I can send a von Rundstedt as a field marshal. And I am thinking of just pushing through and cutting them off here. Let's see, near Zaragoza, because we have a little bit of a beachhead sort of across the river line. So if they can cut off there, and please take the railway there. If they can cut off there, that would be great, and we'll assign that to the shortcut. Let's get back to the Union situation. What has happened to our assault? I think our assault has stopped for some reason. Okay, let's try that again. While the Kaiserreich troops are getting into position there, we are relatively easily pushing them out. Hopefully, we have the momentum to take the port and to sow some chaos here in the Syndicalist positions. And yeah, 4th Army Group is in position. Just needs to regain organization. So we'll focus on the Union for now, and we'll see if we can manage the push across the river here. We might have to leave one division behind. Iceland has left Middle Europa. Yeah, traitors indeed. Let's get them removed. Anyway, what are we voting for in Middle Europa right now? Everyone seems to go for industrial advisors. Construction speed, factory output. Oh yeah, I'm in for this. Okay, we'll vote for that as well. So that's good. And okay, so that is a lot of divisions. Let's leave one division behind. Let's leave one division behind here. And are we getting counterattacked from all of these? Yes, we are. Okay, in that case, we will just defend here and wait for the counterattack to subside. Unfortunate, slightly unfortunate, because we can. I would have liked to use the momentum to push across the river line, but that's a lot of divisions. So if we can manage the defense here, then unfortunately we are out of supply. Can we motorize that? Yep, it gets a little bit better. Taking Charlotte first might have helped here, really, but okay. Because if we can hold off that and then counterattack into the port, okay, we have held it off, but we are not counterattacking into the port, not with 7 divisions and across the river line. So we will take 3 divisions attack across the river here, and we'll support with that division. Try to see if we can expand the bridgehead, and then we'll have to see what they do next. Okay, they are moving out. Good. They're moving out. So we are going to move south and see if we can take the port, encircle 3 divisions here, destroy them, and then keep going. Small victories is what we're going for here. Kaiserreich front divisions have regained their organization, so we're literally just going to push through here, and that should be relatively quick. I have an air wing. Yep, I've got an air wing operating here, so all good. That should be relatively quick, and we are about to get across the river line. I'll leave 1 division here to hold. Bad experiences from the American Civil War previously, but that 1 division should be sufficient to hold the line here and make sure they're not collapsing our front. And Haiti has aligned with us. Okay, where's Haiti? Here's Haiti. After so much upheaval, the nation of Haiti appears ready to fully enter the international arena on our side. The government in Port-au-Prince has released a rapid-fire series declaration regarding a number of international issues aligned with our own positions. Haitian diplomats have also sent out feelers conspicuously meant to gauge our willingness to enter into a military alliance with the country. It seems the country is likely to formally broach the subject of alliance on some future day, perhaps tomorrow, or perhaps years from now, but someday. Splendid indeed. I mean, Haiti is not going to have a massive economic impact, but having another base in America seems like not a terrible thing to do. Anyway, Carlist volunteers are breaking through, so we are going to go through and then across the river and see that we can manage to get everybody cut off here. Meanwhile, more importantly, Union is working. Okay, I need to pin these in the south. Come on, let me pin them. Okay, there we go. And then we will encircle. And I will actually send 2 divisions back because it's going to be easier to attack from this side. I just need to make the encirclement happen. So we've taken the port. This province, I think, is not necessary for that. So we've taken the port. I think there are returning divisions, actually, that are now landing. That's fascinating. Hang on. Yes, there are 2 divisions that are two divisions that were returning, trying to land on this port, only to find Germans in the port. And now we've got these 3 divisions encircled here, which means that these divisions are going to be pushed back into the sea. And we are just going to stop the attack for now. And once we have, we'll wait for some reinforcements. There we go, reinforcements have arrived, and now we're pushing the attack. And we will destroy these 3 divisions and then make our way, once the assault has stopped here, we'll actually start pushing further along the front lines. Carlist front, we are cleaning up relatively rapidly. So once we're across the river here, I think everything's going to be under control pretty nicely. Okay, that's another 3 divisions done. Unfortunately, my front lines in the north here are falling very, very quickly. So if we can roll up the east, I don't want to fight through the Appalachians, but if we can roll up the eastern front here a little bit, and we're actually struggling, so we may have to actually support that, which is a bit unfortunate. But it's the New York Reds that are causing us some trouble here. They have, despite the fact that they're completely encircled, they have actually they actually have a decent amount of defense. Okay, Argentina has declared war on the Patagonian Workers' Front. Anything that's named Workers' Front sounds like something that I should be fighting against. So let's have a brief look at Argentina. All right, so Patagonian Workers' Front are, let me guess, yep, these are Syndicalists. So Argentina is relatively friendly to us. And Chile is not. Chile is Syndicalist. So I wouldn't be surprised if Chile had anything to do with that. But I think we are going to need ourselves an Argentinian intervention force. And to be honest, can I actually start deploying some of these troops? I can. I am going to start deploying these because despite the fact that they are understaffed, I just need the troop numbers up, so the Army High Command allows me to send more divisions. So let's see, does that make a difference? Still at 4. Okay, let's grab 3 infantry divisions and send them over. Okay, we have the Argentina expeditionary force. We're going to send these volunteers Argentina. And we will send some planes as well, and we'll see if that actually helps. All right, back to my position here. I think we'll finish that off, but we do need the help from these divisions here. So let's not overstretch ourselves. Let's just finish off. Yeah, Argentina allows. Let's just finish this off, and then we'll expand the front lines and take some more territory here. I just want to have these. I want to have these 3 divisions wiped out. How are the Carlists doing? Carlists are doing well, and yes, the Chilean. Oh, the Chilean-Argentinian war. Okay, yeah. So I was right. Chile has something to do with this. So Chile is in on the fun. Tensions have been running high between the 2 regional powers for years now, as the ideological differences drove the nations further and further apart. Support by Chile for the FOP in Patagonia and the incapacity of Argentina to quell the rebellion have finally come to blows, as a joint offensive by the Argentinian army and armada was met with a heavy resistance on the Rio Negro, with Chilean forces opening fire on the advancing Argentinian troops. 3 world tension, unfortunately, but we will probably take on. I'm almost tempted to just take on Chile first, because we can probably cut Chile in half here relatively easily if we move down into Santiago, as long as we can hold the mountain ridges in the north. So let's finish that off. These are finishing up here, and then I can give them an actual. I can give them a new front line. But I think honestly, the Syndicalists here are pretty much done once we're through here. We are actually not doing too great in the air, because we have an absolutely terrible mission efficiency. So we're fighting under red air at the moment. 300 enemy fighters. The French have joined the fun. That's why. So taking the airport is probably going to be the next operational goal from here. But first we'll have to wrap this up. Okay. So that's ongoing. We have 22 days. So to keep an eye on this, not to make sure that we're not missing the Black Monday turnover. But these are losing. Once we've got the New York Reds out of the way, the other 2 are just, I think, more or less militia. So I think we're going to get rid of them relatively soon. Just have to be careful not to be cut off anywhere here. But we've got 3 divisions stationed here, so I think we'll be good to go. And yes, they are falling back here, unfortunately, everywhere. If they could just stop force attacking, that would be great. But it is what it is. So while we're clearing that, Carlists are destroying the last of the Syndicalist forces here, and I think we've got it at this point. From there on out, we'll probably just push towards Barcelona once we're done there. Yep, they are pushing back, and I'm gonna need to defend myself here, which means we should be able to. Okay, they've got 4 divisions coming in on us here. From where? I am not sure, but we'll hold on the defense here, and we'll keep pushing on the north. We get some support from the American troops. We just have to make sure that we're wiping them out. And it looks like the are we in a? Hang on, we're in an offensive operation. Why are we? I'm not quite sure. We're definitely in the defense here. So that's them trying to break out. But at the same time, we're in an offense from the north. And we've wiped everything here. Okay, so let's give ourselves a front line here. And then just take Barcelona. I think that's going to be our next operation. Okay, here is where it's critical. So if we can, we've destroyed 1. And yeah, the other 2 should be relatively. The other 2 shouldn't be too hard. We can. Okay, we've got a very narrow. We've now got a very narrow line because we don't have the combat width. That's why, because this division here is on the defense now. But that's okay. I just want to make sure they're not breaking out. So we can only get one division's firepower in, actually. And that's why we were struggling there for a second. But they're exhausting themselves across the river, trying to retake the port. And at the same time, they are trying their darnest to counterattack. But once 1 division is left, and I think we'll have that in a minute. Divisions have arrived at the lines. We'll just push to Barcelona. I think we've got the firepower to do that. And that is all good. We've got only 12 days left, so let's do the the Black Monday game before we end the episode, and we'll finish this. We'll finish this battle up here. Unfortunately, we couldn't exploit our breakthrough quite as nicely as I wanted to. Oh yeah, they're force attacking now as well. We couldn't exploit it quite as nicely as I wanted to. So, but we've managed to get across the river lines here. So hopefully, pushing north next is going to be easier than otherwise. We're still 20 points ahead. I don't want to spend any more command power right now. Let's just run a pressure island action relatively briefly. All right, so what are we looking at? 3,800 is what we're going to get. So we can do strategic tax hikes, which is free. So with that, we are 384853. We're good on stability, but on investment we need a bit more. So we've got 338, so 4550. So we need another 700 on investment. Where do we get 700 on investment? We could use, because it is a money creation problem, we could use this one would definitely be enough. That's 1% debt. That one would not be enough. That's a Reichsbank analysis. That one would be enough, but that's more expensive. So I'm just going to go with money issuing, and that should be sufficient because then we get the 3,800. So we're at 6,000. So this is all good. All right, let's finish off the attack here, and then we will actually move on and defend the port from there. There's only one division left. Unfortunately, unfortunately, we have to defend here against the enemy onslaught, but I think we'll be holding that. They are running force attacks, however. But as soon as we've already got two divisions, as long as we get the next division down before they reconnect, then that's all good. Kunming has fallen. Okay. So let's have a very brief look over at China and see how the situation is looking there. Germany, the German East Asia, by the way, is still not managing to get the naval invasion kicked off. Unfortunately, they've managed to encircle somebody. Unfortunately, there's not an awful lot I can do to help them. It's just, we'll have to deal with it later. But it looks like the Guangzhou government is flattening the National Protection Alliance. And I mean, the Guangzhou government is, at least, it's not Syndicalist, they're Social Democrats. So I can live with that. I'll leave China to the Chinese, to be honest. But we have the Argentinian, and Portugal has joined the Entente. Okay, that is big news. So Spain is probably going to be next then in that case. So I would assume if Portugal has joined the Entente, then probably Spain as well. So the revanchists trying to get back to France is going to be an interesting problem. We'll see. We'll deal with that when we get there. For now, I have the Argentinian volunteers, and they need to very rapidly make their way. That's an active combat zone, so we'll get them on the railway to Mendoza. And then we will focus on taking Valparaiso. Let's extend that. So we will try to cut the Chilean forces in half, and these need to railway to Mendoza, please. Okay, and we can send an air wing south. So let's see, do we have one available? I think all my air wings are elsewhere. We have the second Jagdgeschwader. That is probably, that's down south here. So they can head over Mendoza and help with air superiority over Patagonia. So that's good. And that means Argentina needs a field marshal, if I still have one. No, they're all occupied. Okay, so no field marshal for now. But they are going to get the 1, 2, 3, 4 shortcut. Carlists are pushing on Barcelona, and we are in a pitched battle in the north here, trying to destroy the last remaining encircled Syndicalist division here. And then we will solidify our front line, make sure that we're holding. I'm going to leave one division already here to dig in. Oh, and the Empire of Japan declared war on the Philippines. That might be interesting. Well, the US have nothing to do about that. The Philippines are not in any faction. So Japan is going on a rampage for colonial possessions. That spells bad news for German East Asia, because German East Asia still has not finished up the Indochina Civil War, and there is nothing I can do to help them. So right now, because we have our own problems to worry about. We are not looking too great here, to be honest. Let's see if we can retake this position here, just to make sure that we're not getting cut off anywhere. But this is the critical one, and I'll let one division here dig in. 2 divisions should be enough to push them out from there. That one division here is not having any future. And then we will rejoin the rest and see if we can expand our front lines a bit. Do we have a railway connection to the port? We might not have. But it's a port. It should be giving us a little bit. Okay, we've got that secured. In that case, let's see what these. Yeah, we don't have a railway connection to the port, but we should have some supply. So we'll move divisions over, trying to hold the port. We'll leave one division in the north here because they are furiously trying to retake that. And we have 25. Okay, that's the last thing we do. We have 25 army experience. So what we'll do is we'll take our infantry division, we shall duplicate it, and that is going to be a Sturmdivision. Division. There we go. And obviously they are getting the skull. Similarities to historical or existing military formations are purely coincidental and not intended. And we shall give them a combat support battalion of artillery. There we go. And save that for 25 army experience. And we'll probably also give them elite status just so they get the equipment more quickly. And that means we are immediately going to start switching over the existing. We do need additional infantry and support equipment and towed artillery and manpower. That's probably just because they're short. So we'll start switching them over, and hopefully with 2 additional divisions arriving, we can manage to hold the port. I don't think I can last. I could last stun somebody, but I don't think I want to. We do want to hold the port, ideally. Let's see if my divisions arrive in time and reinforce in time, for sure. That's going. Yes, we have reinforced, so we're good. We're holding the port. Barcelona has fallen, and that should spell the end of. That should spell the end of the. We haven't even gotten there in time. That should spell the end of the Syndicalists here. We'll just leave the divisions here so we're not getting cut off. But I don't think we need to do much more in this regard. The Argentinian volunteers are almost in position, and hopefully just in time to hold the mountain range, and then we can launch a counterattack towards Santiago. We have 3 civilian factories, but I think that's something we'll deal with next episode. So for now, small gains in the American Union state. We are working on destroying and weakening the enemy. We have so far. Can we get a combat total for that? Probably, if we're looking at the. Which one is the Union one here? American Union state. No, that's not helpful. We'll probably just have to get it out of the theater here. So, in the last 12 months, we have destroyed 47,000 Union Syndicalist troops. So I'd say so far Model has done well. and we'll dig our heels in here for now. And then we will see where we can go next from here. It will probably be good to get the railways connected. So if we can, we'll probably assault north from here, and then assault north from here. Try to connect the railways, and then probably we might try to take Charlotte as well. But Charlotte is hard to defend, so we'll see where we get to. But we will try to exploit further north. If we can take the 2 supply positions, we should have a relatively good start to take the Raleigh-Norfolk line here, and we'll see if we can cut off some of the enemy divisions and deal with them. Oh yeah, and the airport. We need ideally we need the airport. It was somewhere around here. We've lost contact with it. But taking an airport here would be good as well, because doing offensive operations under enemy green air not good. Yeah, we've lost the airport there. So if we can get an airport on the east coast, for now we'll make ourselves useful in the deep south. But if we can get an airport on the east coast, that would be great. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.